Page 11, The Hunt. This piece is a good example of what's known as a broken chord. A chord is, depending on the definition you want to use, either 2 or 3 notes played at the same time. So in C major, if I take the C and then I skip a note, and I skip a note, and I do those 3 notes, it's a C chord. That's played at the same time, more or less. Well, if I play them one at a time, or any other pattern other than at the same time, or doesn't matter what the pattern is, it's anything other than at the same time, it is a broken chord, meaning not at the same time. Well, a lot of pieces use broken chords in them. They're all over the place, and this piece does that. Look at the last measure of the first line. You have a C, a G, and an E. Well, these 3 notes are this, but it has the G on the bottom. So I just take these 2 notes and I put them up here. It's a C chord, it's a broken chord. All over the place, this thing has broken chords in it. It's kind of neat. I mean, it's something, noticing the little patterns of this will help you in being able to play music, especially sight read music, because you'll recognize, oh, I recognize that pattern, and you'll be able to play it, and you don't have to focus so much on individual notes. Now you're taking them in groups. It takes time to get into that, but it's something to look at. Now, in The Hunt, 3/4 time, no sharps or flats. It has a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 3, and you're starting here, but the 3rd finger's on the C, so you're going to come up to here. So you're in this position to start. You may not stay there, but you'll start. And it's 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now I hold that down for 4 counts, and then the last 4 notes there is 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Rhythm-wise, hopefully that's not a problem for you. It's the notes we ought to make sure we have. And then the second line, you're basically playing in this. You're still in the same position. You're just these notes. And that's the 3rd line. Look out. The pickup to the 3rd line, the last note in the 2nd line is here. But now they want 3rd finger on the D, so now you got to come up another one here. Leave the thumb where it's at, just come up, stretch out a little more. And this is the chord. Yes, it's a chord. I'll get in more to that a little later, but it is, so it's here. And then a little later, it's 1, 2. Now lift up and put 3rd finger on E. You don't have to do that. You can, 2nd finger is fine. Just use 4th finger if you want. And reach up with the little finger. Because all of these notes together, the G, the C, the E, and the G, that's a chord. It's a broken chord. And that's the fingering for the chord, believe it or not. For this position, it's an extended chord. We're getting it now. But that's the fingering we'd use, and it's 4th finger. So I would encourage you to use 4th finger on the E, so it's here. And then the next line and 2nd measure, again, 4th finger on the E, just leave it there. And then you can lift up and come down a little bit. Last line, same thing. 2nd finger, and 4th finger on the E. Both these, and then come down again. Left hand, keep the left hand soft. You're up here. You have a C and an E to start. It's 3, 1. And then 2nd line, 2nd measure, 5, 2 here. So you're in this position except the little finger's down 1, so it's here. And that's quite common in piano, so we'll just kind of stay there. In the 3rd line, 3rd measure, you're going back up. Here. 4th line, look at this mess. 3rd measure, you have a G, a B, and an F. And I would encourage you to use 4th finger on the B. This fingering, we're using 3rd, is a beginner's fingering. If you're going to go very far in piano, you're going to have to change it. So I just teach what you got to have to begin with. We don't have to change anything later. So I put fourth finger, if your hand's big enough, fourth finger on the B. If it's not, you got to use third, but I prefer fourth because the entire chord, it would be adding a D is this. That's the chord, and that's the fingering for the chord, and that's what I recommend. So it's here. And that's it. And the same thing in the last line on that chord. Put the hands together, let's see what happens. You get this at the beginning. Rest. Rest. You're going to hold that down for a little while and then you go on. You start to, does it make any sense at all? I hope. Let's go down to the third line. You're here. That's really the piece. Now, one little thing I'd like to point out on fingering. I've been very picky on fingering. It's not just whatever. And on these chords, I've been encouraging you to use fourth finger on these things. Well, in the third line down, you see that if I take the last note, well, let's just go to the second measure of the third line. You have this. All those together, that's a chord. But the fingering really should be the fourth finger on the D because you add the B to it. That's what the chord really is. We're just not using a B. But fourth finger would be on the D, but the reason we're using third, and we do it intentionally, is because after we're done with this, we need fourth finger for that E. So we're saving fourth finger for later on. It's kind of an adjustment we make in fingering. When we're trying to figure out fingerings or something, we've got to look ahead to see what's needed then, as well as what happened to come up with a fingering that works. You could use 4 on the D. You just got to reach the fourth up to the E. And because of that, then we just use 3. Is all. In case you're wondering about fourth finger on these chords, because I will point these things out from time to time. Now, once you get the notes and the rhythms and all that figured out, let's go back and add the phrasing and the dynamics and all that kind of stuff. It says it's loud at the beginning. You'll have to decide what loud is. That's the right hand. Keep the left hand a little under. And you're staying loud until the third line down. When the left hand has this, you have an MF that's a moderately loud or medium loud or sort of loud, or just come down a little bit. And then you have that crescendo going up to here. So the first note of the fourth line is, that's where you're headed. There, and then you come back down to medium loud. And then you're soft there at the end of the fourth line. And then you gradually get louder again up to the G. And how loud you get here, you can go up to loud or just go up to medium loud. It's up to you. Just get a little louder. Starting with the last note of the fourth line, you're here. And then you end it loud like you started. Like so. There's no staccato or anything. It's really the phrasing, and there's so many rests in here. The phrasing kind of comes automatic because the rests give you the silence between the phrases that you need. I like to do this really slowly with you together so that we can double check the notes and the rhythms to make sure you have those correct. And I'll leave it to you to add the dynamics and that kind of thing and to speed it up. It says it's allegro. Allegro's fast. I don't know how fast that is, but it's fast. To be your fast, not mine. So you decide what's fast for you, and that's where you take it. But we're going to go slow in this play with me because we're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms and all. So go ahead and put your hands where they go. I'm going to give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. tie, 2. 1, 2, 3, tie, rest. 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2. 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 2. 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. Rest. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, off.